Alright, hello and welcome back to Let's Play yet another no-name MAME game. And you know how I always say a lot of games look like Xevious? Well, here's another game that looks like Xevious. Except not quite. Something's a little different about it. Can't quite put my finger on it. New haircut, maybe? That's right, it's Xevious 3D/G. But unfortunately, file names don't really like slashes in them. Can't imagine why. So, this is a game just begging for auto-fire, just like regular Xevious. And the second button is bomb. In fact, the gameplay is very much Xevious. Except now, everything's in 3D, you can actually kind of tell, like, what you're flying over, how high you are. And you know, oh, there's power-ups? Xevious just got awesome. And you can shoot as many bombs as you can? You can auto-fire bombs? This is like the promised land of Xevious. I don't even know why regular Xevious still exists. I remember back in the Game Boy Advance days, they ported out like the NES ports of like Xevious and stuff. They're like, hey kids, check this out. This is hot stuff, ain't it? Xevious. And I remember I bought Xevious and I was like, hey, this is pretty sweet. If only I had known that there was Xevious 3D out there. Oh my god. They could have released this for the Game Boy Advance. Now that would have blown my socks off. Good god. And you even lock on to things. This is like how Xevious was meant to be played. And there are even more power-ups. The best 3D that's... oh wow. And I mean, I'm sure you saw that little intro screen in the beginning. Not the 3D intro, slightly before that, when it was just all the text. And it really did feel like a 70s game all over again, but it said 95. And I didn't quite want to believe it, but once you start playing this game, you really do believe it. Although I feel like 3D had kind of been better then, but I don't know. That might just be me misremembering things. It's surprisingly easy to start getting historical anachronisms in there. Like, if you've ever gone to school with some kids, and then you went to... well, okay, remember the kids from your middle school. Now remember the kids from your high school. Wait, are you sure that kid who went to high school really went to your middle school? It's a little weird like that. It's surprisingly easy to reimagine your life and start adding in little anachronisms in there. Wow. It just feels right. I mean, just something about this game, like, if you've played Xevious, it was fun, but then you play this game, and there's no but. It's just fun. It's just how it's meant to be played. Like, the visuals, they just look right. And I mean, looking at them, they do seem to be like, initially you might think, oh, it's a little cheap early 90s 3D game. But then you think about it and you realize, Xevious is never meant to be photorealistic. So, the graphics, they're perfect for Xevious. They're how Xevious was meant to... oh, haha! I see, one of the power pylons is for bombs, one of them is for shooting. That's pretty genius. Wow. I mean, everything looks perfect, and even though it does sort of look like early 90s 3D, everything's fluid, everything's like, it has a sufficient number of polygons. Oh, now I'm back to regular boring shot. That red mode is like awesome. But, I mean, you look at it, it's like, everything's just good enough that you need it. I mean, it's simple enough that you can actually do it with the technology, but everything just looks perfect. And now that I've tasted the laser beams, I cannot go back. And even the difficulty is, like, very neatly parceled. I mean, a lot of Xevious is that they kind of just threw a whole bunch of stuff at you, and your ship was, like, a little clunky, and you couldn't quite handle it. But you look at this game, and then it's nice, it's easy, it's fair, it's got it going on. This is definitely the way Xevious was meant to be played. Oh, and you sort of got like a risk versus reward thing where like you can keep picking up more power-ups, but if you collect a blue one when you have a red one, then everything's gone. That's a nice, interesting gameplay mechanic. I mean, it keeps things a little interesting. And I mean, usually I kind of dislike that gimmick, but that's also because usually, well, okay, in Wherein, I kind of dislike that gimmick, but that's usually because Wherein, like, fills the screen with it. So it's actually some sort of challenge to... Oh. That's terrible. Did you see that? We're on stage 2 out of 5? This game ends after 5 stages? After seeing this play, I kind of don't think I want it to end after 5 stages. I think I kind of want it to go on and on and on. But we'll see. Oh, weird. I wonder if I turn off auto-fire, if they'll still auto-fire. But I also don't wonder long enough that I might actually want to do that. Wow. I'm really surprised. I've never heard about this 3D port because it's basically perfect. Although I feel like they could have maybe sprited the clouds or put them in the textures. I don't know. Because that would be kind of cheating. Oh man. Anyone getting like a Star Fox vibe from this right now? Oh, blue's bad. No. At least we've got a red one right here. So it's kind of like, oh, you made the wrong choice, but you can make up for it. Wow, and then you even have rainbow ships? Well, I wonder what green does. I want to go back to red, please. Yeah, it's nice, but again, red is where it's at. Oh, wow. And then just that sweeping rainbow beam. Everything just, yeah, it just looks... Oh no, now we're gonna have to deal with all of those walls just coming at us. Or not, I don't know. Because that was one of Xevious' big things. No, blue's bad! That was one of the things about Xevious, where, like, sometimes it would just swarm the screen with those stupid wall things, and you can't shoot through them, you can't destroy them, all you can do is dodge them, so... It ended up being more than a little annoying, and very unfair. But this game definitely seems like it has the good sense not to do that. And I'm sure, as anyone who's played Xevious for all of one life will know, this game is way, 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 way easier than Xevious ever could have been, even if you were on crazy reflex skills. Because this game, it doesn't try to do anything cheap to you. There aren't that many enemies relative to Xevious, and the enemy shots, they're not too crazy. Actually, I'm thinking about it, Xevious had like a bunch of those little coin saucers that would just kamikaze you. They would just come at you, no mercy, no hesitation or anything. They just come and come and come at you, and just smash you and destroy you and saw you and everything. And they would not quit until you were dead. And even then, they still wouldn't quit. This game, though, in fact, I haven't even seen them since that first level. Okay, red is good, death is bad. Well, I guess they're sort of substituting those saucer things for the, for these cubes now. That is a neat little touch where when you die, then not only do you get back to, not max power, but some power, but you also get to choose, like, what you want to do, just in case, like, you died because you accidentally picked up a blue. It's a nice, neat little touch, and I mean, basically all our shoot-em-ups kind of do that, where they give you, like, some sort of max power-up, boost. But this one, it's extra nice about it. And, I mean, if you've been looking at the level design, I mean, maybe compared to the first level or two, it's a little lackluster, but at the same time, I mean, you definitely want to start strong with an arcade game. Because not too many people will, like, play for, or pay for, like, the first... Well, they'll take bad levels in the beginning for awesome levels later. Because you're never quite sure if, like, an arcade game really does have, like, cooler stuff later on. And a lot of arcade games just kind of start out mediocre and then they continue to be mediocre. It's definitely a problem, but what can you do? Wow. Well, okay, I'm pretty sure the game heard me saying it was a little too easy and it decided to kick it up. That was a boss? Weird, they're trying new, different things. They're not even, like, using bosses. They're just sending cubes, I guess. And I'm sure I've talked about, like, parallax scrolling and other shoot-'em-ups kind of like this. But this game just takes that parallax sort of effect to a whole nother level. Because, I mean, everything 3D just kind of, like, shifts around like that. Like, not quite imperceptibly, but really subtly. But it really adds to, like, some sense of immersion to it. Oh, wow, and now they've got enough enemies that the shot patterns are really starting to wreak havoc. Although, again, the shots are relatively sparse for as many enemies as there are on screen. Some other games really take delight in having as many shots at you as possible, but again, it's really picking up in difficulty, so I guess this game really isn't a slouch. Although we're on level 4, usually most shoot-'em-ups get like insanely difficult after like midway through level 1 even. Sometimes they don't even wait that long, they're just super crazy. Now, I'm pretty sure this level was in the original Xevious, but I'm also half confusing it for 8 Forces. We're like just midway through. This was like one of the first levels, mind you. It just gets insane. I wonder if this is going to be one of those games where it's like on the final level, you have to beat it on 1 life. That's something Aero Fighters did, Aero Fighters 2, and like otherwise it's... Well, it's a game you can credit feed. I won't say it's ridiculously easy. In fact, in the beginning, before I even knew what bullet hell was, I dodged the ability to dodge everything, the Aero Fighter reflex, just because that was the game that had it back in the day. Oh gosh. Couldn't even see some of those shots. They just kind of switched from red to green to blue to yellow. I mean, on one hand, it's maybe not so great to shift between, like, what colors mean what, shot-wise. But at the same time, if you do kind of do it in the right way, you can have, like, a rainbow of shots, which sounds like it would be pretty awesome. Just so long as that rainbow was very different from what was in the background. Okay, blue is bad, red is good. It's taken me a couple levels to figure that out, but I've got it now. Weird. I mean, the game just, like, doesn't seem to mind at all if you continue. Like, I don't even think your score is impacted or anything. It's just kind of like, yeah, we know you're gonna die. Just put in more credits already, sucker. Also, I could have sworn there was a musical soundtrack in the background. That could just be MAME acting up. And I mean, this game, so far the graphics have been like pretty amazing for a game that MAME claims is broken, so I'm sure a lot of it starts manifesting itself in the sound. Although we did kind of have like we had a nice, if quiet, little soundtrack for the first level, so had to happen sooner or later. Oh, that feeling of power when you've weakened the boss, and then you can destroy it all in one go. Except now, Phase 2. Oh, well I guess our red knows no bounds, so that's nice. We can just kind of happily stay at the bottom of the screen and dodge the silly rainbow beams. And on to the final area. Yeah, I knew it would be a bit too short and sweet, but oh my god, they saved the best for last. Although even that desert one was pretty awesome looking. Even if it was a little sparse, I think like with an engine like this, it really shows off the terrain well. So you see those little mountains in the bottom? We're not really at the right camera angle to like fully appreciate the bumpiness of the terrain, but you can definitely kind of feel that the mountains are actually there. They're actually mountains. Whereas, like, in the original Xevious, like, I don't think you could have drawn mountains convincingly. Oh, okay, there is music. I was wondering if that was just like something coming from outside or not. It's a little quiet, a little subdued. But I bet this game was amazing in arcades. I wonder if they even tried to do some sort of gimmicky thing where, like, it was a sit-down cockpit. Although it would be kind of interesting to end the game on, like, a ice level. Usually games tend to end on, like, lava. I'm assuming, like, or red, or sort of a lava. I'm assuming red is kind of, like, in the color, go-to color for intensity. So it's supposed to denote, like, that this is the final level. Everything's on fire, everything's intense. The game's gonna end soon. Hope you've enjoyed it. That sort of thing. Oh! Surprise little enemies. Yeah, there were a lot of those, actually, in the original Xevious. And this game, it really plays it, like, far, far nicer than the original Xevious. And I mean, it's not really anything like the original, but at the same time, that's not necessarily... Blue's bad. That's not necessarily a bad thing. Just those little personal mantras. If you say it enough times to yourself, it'll become true. Just watch after this. Like a new favorite color. Oh no, red's the best. Blue's bad. Oh, this is a very manageable stage, though. Finals level. I mean, sure, I've lost, like, 2 credits, but, like, look at any other game, like Ergele or Aku Garrett. I lost, like, 20 lives in the last level, at least. Is this even supposed to be the last boss? He's, like, the chillest final boss I've ever seen. I mean, he's just kind of sitting around, taking pot shots at us. Oh, God, wow. Okay, that was a little bit insane, but otherwise... I mean, I'm sure he definitely has to have final forms, and like all the other bosses in this game have had final forms. Well, some bosses have. Some levels didn't even have the boss. And I think the game is a tad easier when you're using the homing laser, rather than skill. I mean the blue. Haha. Wait, what? That's it? There has to be a secret level.